Hey, Thomas Bartke here with this brand new updated video about the new catalog and feed manager module in TrackifyX. Okay, so let's go over here to the add catalog section, and this here is split in two parts. There are some settings down here, and then there's a place here where you can enter a catalog name and then create a catalog. So there are now technically 6 different catalog formats available, and the way that works, we're going to go through 4 that make the most sense, and you're welcome to experiment with the other 2 as well, but I'm just going to keep it to the 4 that are kind of like the mainstream, the ones that actually make sense. So as far as the settings are concerned, you just select your business manager here, and then you select any of the pixels you have. You have all pixels available that are accessible to you in the business manager. Now, in order to be able to create a new catalog in the business manager, you have to be the admin of the business manager. If you have employee access to the business manager, you are not going to be able to create a new catalog. You have to ask the admin of the business manager to create the catalog and then to give you employee access to the catalog if that's your situation, if you're supposed to work with the catalog. Okay, so you can only create new catalogs in business managers that you're an admin of. That's a limitation that's imposed by Facebook. Has nothing to do with Trackify. That's just the way business managers and access privileges work. All right, so that's very important to note that in case you're in here and you select your business manager and you select a pixel, because you can, if you have access to the business manager and you have access to a pixel, you can select this here, but then you're going to get an error if you're not the admin of the business. All right. Now, the third field here, you select a Google category. Now, there are gazillions of them here. Doesn't make any sense to scroll down and try to find the one you want to use. The way you use this is you type in a keyword. Let's say kitchen, if you sell kitchen stuff, okay? So you have to spell it right. If you spell it right, you then get a whole bunch of choices that have to do with the home and garden and kitchen niche, right? And you can select whatever you want here. If you sell shirts and t-shirts, you type in shirt and you have this one here, clothing, shirts and tops. You click that one. If you want to keep it more general, you type in apparel. Again, you have to type it correctly, otherwise it doesn't work. Apparel. How about a 2-piece? No, not 3-piece. Goodness. Okay, it's been a long day. All right, here we go. Apparel and accessories. Very general niche. Is awesome to be, category. It's awesome to use if you have a very general store. Just use a very generic default Google category. This is not to obsess about what's right or best. It's about what's a general good fit, okay? So now let's go to the nitty-gritty here of how to choose the variant or the variation of the catalog feed that you want, all right? So in general, the general concept is by default, a product catalog contains one variant for each product in your store. You can include all variants, but that's kind of a special case. Usually the best results you can get is by just sticking with the default, which means you're not going to select this one, and then you have choices between 3 different images to use as add images in your feed. Now, for this to work properly, it kind of depends on what you're selling. There are some typical products that have slightly different setups, typical setups of how you arrange your images in your store typically than others. And you have to kind of juggle with that, and that's why I'm going to walk you through here and explain it. So the default is that the one variant that's going to be included is going to be the first variant, the top variant. So let's go over to the shop here real quick and see what this looks like, right? So here I have an example for a print-on-demand product, and let's zoom in a little bit here so you can see it properly. So there are 5 images attached to this product, and 3 of these are kind of typical variant images, and you can see here these are actually assigned to the 3 variants that we have there. And then we have 2 other images. This is kind of like a lifestyle image, right? And that's been made the front image, or what we call the product image or the main image, whatever you want to call that, right? So this image in this particular case is not assigned to a variant, right? The variant images are here. Those are these three. And the kind of lifestyle image is the front image here. That's the product image, the main image, the first image in the whole thing here, the big one, okay? That's the main image. And then you have you can have one or more images here that are not attached to a variant. And this might be an image that you want to run for a special ad, right? For special ad campaigns, or those are specifically the images that you might want to add there that are not the ones that you want to have show up as your main images, like in collections and home pages. When you see the product there, that's going to be that image, right? This image here. But you're not going to want to have this one, but you want to have another image, a different image that you want to use as an ad image, all right? So that's kind of the general setup. Here's how you understand it, right? So there are always images. Some images may or may not be assigned to some variants, and then there are images that are not assigned to the variants. In between the images that are not assigned to the variants, it makes a difference if the image is right up here on the top, in the top position, or if it's another image that is just not assigned to a variant. Okay, so now here is how the three different rules work. Variant image, that's the default. So if you run your feed like this is the image that's gonna show. You're gonna have this variant, as long as it's available, this variant is gonna show, and it's going to have this image showing with it. All right, so that's rule number one. The second option is to click product image, and that's not the default. So by default, what I mean by that is if you've already created a catalog in the welcome screen over here, then that catalog is built according to the default, and you don't have any choices here about these particular settings. And you can just, this is just kind of to get it over with without making your life more complicated in the initial setup. But so once you're here in the Add Catalog section, the default version is this one right here. So this one right here is the default version. If you want to save the settings so that they come back every time you come to the Add Catalog page, you just save them and then they'll stick. And okay, so here we had apparel, right? Apparel, okay, so apparel and accessories. All right, that's what we wanted, so save that. Okay, so this is the default. The default is it's going to include one variant, the top variant, and the image that goes with that variant. Second option is product image. In this case, it's going to include the top variant, this variant right here, and then it's going to include the product image, the main image that's up in the pole position, whether or not it's the one that's assigned to the variant, right? So if you don't have a special image, if you just have this image up front here, like that, and let's say this would be way in the back, then in this case, there wouldn't be a difference between these two choices, right? Because the front image is the same one, or is the one that is already assigned to the first variant. So in this case, there wouldn't be any difference. But you'll see, I mean, in the way that your store is laid out, you will immediately just see, oh yeah, this is the option that I want. And that's why we have three different choices, okay? So that's the point here for using the product images. You would choose this one. And then the alternative image, there's a really sophisticated rule about that. Now, the alternative image is going to be the last image that is not assigned to a variant. Okay, so there you go. These are the variants. These are the three images that are assigned to the variant. This is the first image that's not assigned to a variant. This is the last image that's not assigned to a variant. So this image is going to be the one that shows in the catalog if you build it with the alternative image option. Okay, so let's build all three of them, and I'm going to show you my tricky naming scheme of how I actually built this. I'm going to just date this here so I can easily filter the catalogs that we're going to create here right now. And so this one, I'm going to call this V0I0. V0I0, okay? And I'm going to create the catalog. It's going to go very fast. There, it's already kind of done. It says, okay, wait, give it a minute or two for it to build, depending on how large your store is. If you have a really large store, it takes a little bit longer. But if you have just a small store, it's almost instantaneously. All right, so that's a default version. Now we're going to go with this one here, product image. Product image, I'm going to set this value here to 1, and this doesn't mean anything, right? You don't need to do it this way. This is just kind of my way of being able to see later how I built the catalog, and you can name them here however you want. But this is kind of my code, right? So this means variant V0. That means it just contains one variant for each product. And this here, I1, that means I'm going to use the product image. And I0 means I'm going to use the variant image. All right. So did we build this already? No. All right. Let me actually close this message after it shows so we know if we already ran it or not. So this is the third one. So we're going to build that with the alternative image. And I'm going to have this kind of naming scheme for that. And again, not that you have to keep this naming scheme. That has nothing to do with anything. It's just for us now to be easily able to see how we built this, right? So let's create the third one like that. And you can see, I mean, it's going really fast, but I mean, this is an ultra small store. This is really literally just 2 products set up, and each one has a bunch of variables, but it's not a large store by any means. So this goes ultra fast, instantaneously. All right, now the other thing, the fourth variant, or the fourth version that I want to show you is the one that includes all variants. And for that one, I'm just going to pick the one that is most natural to this option, and that is that with each variant, you're going to use the image that is assigned to that variant. All right. And if a variant doesn't have an image assigned to it, it's not going to be included in the feed. Or maybe it is. Who knows? But then in that case, this particular option wouldn't make any sense to you, right? Then you would maybe choose another option. But I don't know why you would want to do that in the first place. So, okay, so let's build that one. And then we're going to go over to the catalog list. And we're going to look at these 4 feeds inside Facebook. And while this is kind of building here, this was all kind of now very fast, and we just built a bunch of catalogs very quickly, and so they're not quite there yet at this time. So, but they will be there very shortly here. And so while this is going, I'm just going to go over and show you another example of another product, and this is more of a kind of drop shipping type product, right? That's this one over here. I'm going to show you this one. So this one also, it has a product image. You can see the product image kind of showcases the different colors of this lip gloss or whatever that is there is. So this is an image that is not assigned to a variant. But then there are all kinds of different shades here, different colors, and they're color coded like this. And so each of these images is assigned to a specific variant. And so these are all variant images, right? And these 2 here, you can see, so this is kind of like a little bit tricky to see. Let me actually zoom out a little bit. So there are a whole bunch of images that kind of look like more like lifestyle images, but these are actually also assigned to variants, as you can see here down at the bottom. So these are all assigned to variants. And so these 3 images up on top here, they are the ones that are not assigned to a variant. All right, if I want to do it like this, or I want to do it like this, either way you want to do it, however you want to arrange them, there are 2 criteria. Number 1, you might want to see how what this looks like in your storefront, and then secondly, you're going to want to pick the image that you want to use for ads. If you want to use an alternative image for ads, that should be simply the last one that is not attached to a variant. So all of these images here are all assigned to variants. And these 2 here are not assigned to variants, and this one isn't assigned to variants either. So the 3 options are, the default is it's going to include the front variant, and that's going to be this one, and that image with it. The product image option would include the first variant only, and it would have this image with it, the product image. And the third option, alternative image, would include the front variant and this option right here, this image right here. Okay. All right. So let's go back over and take a look at refreshing this and see if those catalogs got built by now. Okay. So let's see where it is. One thing about it, if you have a whole bunch of catalogs and you don't see the catalogs that you've just created, then you have to click this button here, load more, and then they'll show up. Okay. That's just simply to make this interface faster. But if you're missing any catalogs, it's likely that we just need to fetch the rest of the catalogs so that they're showing up here. And so that's what this load more button is for. Okay, so let's go over to Facebook and let me actually see which are the ones that we just created. I guess I did this before already. So it's this one and this one. Well, anyway, I wanted to show you the different ways that they look, right, on the inside. So let's go to one of them here. We're just going to go to the default. This is a default. And I'm going to show you exactly how what this does, right? So now you have one variant here per each of these. One variant only shows. And you have the front, not the front, but the variant image of the first variant. So it's this one for that product, and it's this black t-shirt for the black t-shirt, right? Now, the next version was V0I1. That's this one. And you can see here the status is showing you how many products have uploaded to this. And like when you just created a catalog and it's a longer catalog, then you click right over here and watch it, then likely you'll see a smaller number than the actual because the upload is still in progress, right? So just give it a little bit more time, and then just usually it goes really, really fast. So now, so we're going to look at the V0I1. That's this one. So it has two products, just like the other one, but now this one is going to use different product images. You see, so these are the same two products, the same variants, but this is using the variant images of the first variant that's included, and this one is using the product image, which is always the product that is in the pole position, in the first position here among the pictures, no matter whether it's assigned to a variant or not. All right, so that's this one. And then the third alternative is this one, V0A1, that also has only two products, one variant for each product. And you can see with this one, it's the last image that is not assigned to a variant, right? So in this particular case, it's this one here. Only these three images are not assigned to variants, and then these other ones are all assigned to variants. And so whatever the last image is that is not assigned to a variant, that's the one that's going to be used for the ad in this case. And in the case of this other product here, it's this special image that we had tucked in at the very end of the variants. So that's how that works. Now, just to show you also the version that includes all variants, that's the one I call variant 1 and standard image. So that's just the image that goes with each variant. That makes the most sense to me for this one. And you can see with this one, so it has 24 products. Now that means it's all variants, right? In Facebook, each variant counts as a product, but they're still tied together. So the thing about using the all variants option here with the feed is that you can have a little bit more sophisticated retargeting, if you will. It makes some sense in some stores, like in this particular store, it might make some sense for this particular product to showcase, different colors and different products. They would show up in different carousel ads, right, as additional slides, and you would be able to pull them together like that. So it's an option. If you have a huge store, it might be a bit more of a hassle to include all variants. But if you have some good reason to actually want to show all variants, then you can do that with this option as well. So that's all there is to it. Now, what's this over here? Next upload, it always says single upload. Any change in products will refresh the feed. We can actually demonstrate that maybe best at, well, any of those is fine. So it's actually not that easy to demonstrate in real life, in real time. But like if you were to just switch these two images, now you would have on the alternative product, you would see that these will switch. So this image will be changed and it'll show this image right here the next time the feed uploads. And this is currently spaced, so this automatically updates once every hour. So on an hourly basis, this is going to get automatically adjusted and updated to any changes you've made within that hour. All right, that's how it works. Great. So I hope you have fun with this. If you have any questions about this new crazy catalog and feed builder, just reach out to us over here in the chat. Oh, one thing I still need to do, and that is this button over here, this create product sets, because this is really cool. I'm going to demonstrate this over here. So if you're using these special tracking tags like pp underscore, they have to start either with pp underscore, and then you can name it whatever you want. And I usually recommend not to put special characters here or blank spaces. So capitals, lowercase, and numbers, and slashes and dashes, or dashes and underscores are allowed, but no blank spaces and funky stuff. Okay, so you have to format them either like this with pp underscore at the beginning and then your own name, or you can also use this way with rr underscore track underscore and then whatever you want. So don't confuse them. You can't just run rr underscore and then say beer. You can say pp underscore track and then bestsellers. That's not a problem. But rr underscore and just whatever you want doesn't work. It has to be rr underscore track underscore and then whatever you want. Or you can use pp underscore and then that. And there's no difference between that. You can invent your own system about making up a difference where this actually means something that they're different, but they're not treated any differently by Trackify for the purpose of what I'm about to demonstrate. Okay, so I just added this tag. I'm going to save this product, and I'm going to go over to the beer product, to the other product, and I'm going to save my rr dash. Well, that's already here, so that's fine. They're actually already all here, so this is fine. And that's already done. So I could actually already demonstrate that, and I will, because there's actually good meaning to this demonstration. So let's go back here and let's pick one of those. Let's say I'm going to pick this one here with the product image, and I'm going to create a product set. So before I do this, I'm actually going to go into this particular catalog. I'm going to show you what happens here. So this is the one. This is the one. No, this is the alternative image. Sorry. So this is the one. And what happens here in the product sets, right? So there are no product sets in here right now. And what happens when I click this button over here, this one right here, create product sets, it's going to create product sets in this particular catalog that I was clicking on, right? This one right here. It's going to create product sets for each tags that are these special formatted tracking tags. So not for all tags, we would just kind of swamp your system in Facebook and make it all like really wacky and crazy, but it's going to create product sets for each tracking tag that has this special formatting. So let's find the one we want to work with. It was this one right here. So there's no product sets here. Now we're going to refresh this, and it's going to show that, bam, there's now an all product set here that includes the 2 product sets that are in all product sets. And then it's going to have a product set for each of these. And you can see here that these tracking tags here are present in this catalog right now. And you can see here the number of items for each of these tags that are currently in this feed. So again, this is a super small demo store that's just a quick and dirty, easy setup. But if you have actual tracking tags that are meaningful and that have a bunch of products assigned to them, then this is a really cool way to create ads that are targeting a specific set of products that are tied together by having the same tag assigned to them. And the coolest thing with this is that as you add and remove tags, these tags from your products, those products are going to be included or excluded from these product sets. So even if you're running a live ad, a live running DPA ad, this is a super powerful, cool way to change which products are going to be included in these ads. So these are the different options, and this is the extra feature of putting your product sets in here automatically, and then retargeting and even cold traffic you can target with these dynamic ads according to the groups that you've created here. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Thomas Bartke.